There's many methods that people use whenever they go and look for their next car. You got dealerships, eBay, Craigslist, Carvana, Auto Tempest. There's a bunch of different websites people use to help them find their next new car. But there is only one true king where people go to sell all their garbage: Facebook Marketplace. Don't get me wrong, I love looking on Facebook Marketplace. I go on there at least once a week to go see what people are selling. But you can't tell me that what people sell on there is not hot trash. And some of the stuff on there, I don't even know why people think to list it. An example of this junk: my 2002 Subaru WRX. And you might be thinking to yourself, oh, you're being too harsh. I mean, look at it. It looks pretty nice for what it is, right? Wrong. This car has been the product of 2 years of hard work, getting it to a place that doesn't look absolutely terrible. And I think that this is just somewhat half decent right now. When I had purchased this car for the total of $7,000, this is the list of things that I did and didn't know was wrong with it. Front passenger side control arm replacement, vacuum leak, spark plugs needed replaced, a retune, the front and rear bumper needed repainted, as well as the hood, and the car had no oil in it. My dad and I had been ripping the car a little bit. You know, it's a new car, it's a little bit fast. We're gonna get on it a little bit, see how fast it can go and stuff like that. The car had no oil. That entire time, the engine could have got oil starvation, blown up. I could have blown this engine up 2 days after I bought the car. But yes, it was our fault for not checking the oil whenever we bought it, I will admit. Like I said, junk. Who would buy this thing? Me, a broke college kid. Okay, so I wanted a cool tuner car, right? You got the 350Z, you got a Honda Civic, you got a WRX, you got a Mazda Miata, a Evo. There's a bunch of different cars that you can choose from. But I wanted the Subaru WRX. Has a turbocharger in it. All these other cars on this list you can't buy from the factory with a turbocharger on it. Why did I want a turbocharger on it? Well, it's expensive to turbo cars that don't come with it. So why not just buy one from the factory with it? Yes, you can always install a turbo, but one from the factory? That's right up my alley. I'm a broke college kid. So with the $7,000 that I managed to scrape together over selling my last car and working a bunch of hours, I was able to start looking on, say it with me now, Facebook Marketplace. And while I was looking on there, the listing for this WRX just so happened to pop up, and it was only 5 miles away from me. Oh look, a WRX. It's in World Rally Blue too. $7K, huh? I mean, I guess it's a pretty good deal. It's got a lot wrong with it, I'll take it. And that's basically how I wound up with this $7,000 Subaru WRX and also hundreds of dollars in repairs that I had to do to it to get it to looking in this place. So if you're watching this video and you're looking for any advice, it's to scroll down and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Okay, but for real, I don't think it actually matters what websites you go on to look for your car. I just think that you have to make sure that whenever you're purchasing the car, you look over it very well at the beginning. We didn't check the oil whenever we went for a test drive. We were too absorbed in everything else that was wrong with it. We didn't check the oil. So just make sure that you check everything on the car before you purchase it. This is going to be the car that you're going to end up driving for however many years, maybe just months if you really don't like it that much. But this is the car that you're going to be stuck with. So you want to make sure that it's going to be safe and everything's going to be okay with it. And you're not going to have to throw hundreds of thousands of dollars into it right after buying it. I do truly think, though, that I was lucky with finding this car on Facebook Marketplace. At the time, a lot of listings for WRXs were a lot more expensive. And after I did the oil, retuned it, and changed the spark plugs, it was really in tip-top shape, and I didn't really have to do anything else to it at that point. I could just start doing mods. I did have to change the battery and the alternator, but that was like 2 or 3 months ago, so it had lasted almost 2 years from the point of buying it before those needed replaced, which is really good. And since then, it honestly has given me not any problems at all. I haven't had to replace anything else. From the point of buying it and doing those first initial maintenance things to it, I didn't have to do anything until like a month or two ago when I did the battery and the alternator, which is just routine maintenance for any car. I think also for the age of this car, it's pretty impressive that being a 2002, it honestly did not need that much work to it. I mean, putting in oil, spark plugs, and a retune, that's really not that much. And then a battery and an alternator, all combined, that's the only mandatory maintenance things I've had to do to this car since buying it. And in the past 2 years, I feel like that is less than some other cars that you'll see on the road today. So yeah, if you do end up finding a car, I just say make sure that you do a complete look over, make sure everything's okay with it. I wouldn't restrict yourself to one platform like Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or some other websites that are out there. There's cheap deals on all of them. if you just keep your eye open. I was looking for this car for about 2 to 3 months before I found it, so it does take time. Trust me, you will eventually find one. I know I was getting super anxious and I just wanted to get one so bad after looking for so long, which was how I ended up with this car, because I was a little bit impatient and maybe didn't choose the best one that I should have bought. But still, it's here today. It hasn't given me that many problems, luckily. I do think I was lucky in purchasing this car that it did not give me many problems, considering how the last owner took care of it. And again, this will be the car that you own for, well, for me, I usually own them for at least 2 years before I even begin looking at something else. So this will be the car that you have to drive for a couple of years, depending on who you are. So make sure that you're happy with it. It's everything that you want before going out and purchasing it. If there's some things wrong with it and you have to walk away, that's okay too. There will be more cars out there that people list. With that being said though, I wish you guys luck in your car searching journey. Hope that you can find exactly what you're looking for. It doesn't take as long as me, and that even if you do find something bad, maybe it turns out like my experience, where in reality, things went pretty well and it was a pretty lucky car to have. With that being said though, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one, and thank you guys so much for the support.